the Magic Treehouse Merlin Mission to Haunted Castle on Hallows Eve. And yesterday at school, I started reading at chapter 7 and then I'm reading at chapter 12. So I'll tell you about the story and I will read the last pages, okay? Now let's start reading and ready for hear the story and reading the story. Now, here we go. And first you can read the Magic Treehouse Merlin Missions, Haunted Castle on Hallows Eve. Now, first I'll tell you about the stories. Here. So, they met some ghost, a girl ghost and two boy ghosts. And here the girl ghost have write the Raven King's name, the Raven King at the mirror, so they need to find the stolen kind of treasures. So they have a lot of clue to find that. And they started to thinking about a rhyme. And there is some ravens. Ravens here. Raven is like a bird, right? And there's a raven, but raven have turned into a king, so it's a Raven King. Here, look, it's a very big Raven King. So they're fighting with a Raven King. And there is a little Raven King. So they help them so Jack and Anya helped the little raven. So the little raven had help fighting with the Raven King. So now they're very safe. Now let's start reading. The storytelling is over. Now let's start reading at the chapter 12, A New Day, at the end of reading it. The stories, and that means tomorrow I'll be reading new book with new stories. Okay, now let's start reading. Here we go. Chapter 12, A New Day. Cleek, a little croc came from a cage up the floor. Teddy cried. Oh, I knew it. It's not a raven, it's a croc. And croc is a teddy. A Raven King had made a teddy into a croc. So now Teddy is a croc, but it's a nice Jack and Annie's friends. We almost forgot you, said Jack. Creak, Teddy croc again. Let me change him back, Annie said to Jack. Okay, but let me get out of the way first, said Jack. He handed Annie to a hazel twig. Then he quickly stepped over to the window. Annie moved closer to Teddy's cage. She closed her eyes and thought for a moment. Then she waved her wand over to her cage and says, a hazel twig from a hazel tree. Make him, Teddy, set him free. And there was a mighty roar, a blast of the heart, and a blaze of the light. Then the cage is gone, and Teddy is a boy again sitting in the floor. Wow, Jack and Annie have turned them to a nice Teddy boy again. Yay, said Annie. Nicely done, said Teddy. Thanks, welcome back, said Jack. He and Annie have helped Teddy stand up. Teddy shook his arms and legs. Ah, 'tis good to be a human again, he said. And now we must help the Duke's family. Where's the diamond? We lost it, said Annie. Yeah, I had it in my bag, said Jack, but I must have dropped it when Annie changes back to ourselves. Don't worry, said Teddy. It must be here somewhere. The three of them got into their hands and knees, started crawling around the floor with the nursery. And there's no sign with a diamond. Suddenly they heard Teddy gasp. Oh my, Teddy whispered. Look! He was staring at the corner. The diamond of the dynasty was raising from the basket rolled by a spinning wheel. The ghost must have hidden to when the Raven King came, whispered Annie. The diamond moved slowly toward Jack and stopped in front of him. Jack held out his hand and the diamond settled on his palm. Thank you, Jack said to the ghost girl. I'll put it back into my place now. Oh, I think Jack and Teddy are not scared of the girls now. Carefully holding the diamond, Jack crossed the room. Annie pulled a tree spurley aside and Jack opened the golden door cabin. He looked at the last time at the shining stone. I really felt brave when I was carrying this diamond, he said softly. Jack, said Annie, you're pretty brave just now without it. Indeed you are, said Teddy, and Jack smiled. He carefully put the diamond on the dynasty back into the place and closed the golden door. Then Annie has covered the cabin once more of the tree. The air in the nursery grew warmer. A girl began to take a shape beside Teddy. She wore a white nightgown. She had a dark curly hair. She was about Teddy's age. At the chess table, two boys took shape too. They just looked like alike. They're twins about Annie's age. At first, the children was a bit pale and cloudy. Slowly, it grew more and more invisible. Then they were sold at the rosy chick. At the same time, a large brown dog because of the visible by the dog. And he barked into the girl. Oliver, she cried. She hugged him. Then she looked at Jack and Annie and Teddy. She gave them a big smile. Hello, she said. Hi, said Annie. Are the three of you the only people in this castle? Oh no, everyone else is here too, said a girl, but they're all asleep when the Raven King stole the diamonds. They're supposed to be asleep too, but sometimes we like to snack out to bed and play. And we're playing aside and hide and seek. When I found to hit the diamond so better, so I put it down to the window ledge to catch it in moonlight. Then Tom and Henry started to play chess. She pointed to the boys. And Gownlone started spinning, said Tom, and Oliver went down to the great hall to look for the scraps. When the Raven King swooped down to the window and stole the diamond, said Jack. And yes. Oh no, said Goldreason, before we could even go to our mother and father and begin to fade away. Mother, father, said Tom, as if he just remembered their parents. You must wake him, Gudrun. I know, she said. We shall go upstairs and wake them all. And since they are sleeping, I suspect they never knew they were invisible. And Gowden took the brothers in hands, and the three of them started to the nursery. At the door, she looked at Jack and Annie and Teddy. Thank you for helping us, she said, whoever you are. The Duke children slipped to the nursery and over to grab the bone and down it after them. Jack handed the handle to Teddy. Listen, Jack said, I don't think this is something that kids should play with. Every soccer kid. You'd better keep it back to your cousin. Aye, perhaps that is a good plan, said Teddy. He grinned and peacefully he slipped to the twin of the back to a project. and he gaggled to the tall door. Shall we? Jack and Annie nodded. Teddy picked up the lantern and blew out the candle, and then he and them all out of the castle of the nursery into a hallway. They all started down the stairs. Servants rushed by. Ring the bells, one said. Bring water to the dukes and duchess, said other. We're getting late start today, said a third. And Jack and Annie and Teddy came winding down the stairs past the great hall and past the armory room and down the entrance to keep. As they all stepped to the country yard, a bright sunlight shone the castle with towers. And the bells started to ring. Rotors crowed, and the horses neighed, and the servants are making a big cooking fire. A blacksmith with a founding and an anvil. A milkmaid was holding her pans. And the bright daylight Jack and Annie and Teddy walked through the busy country yard. They all have passed through the gatehouses and crossed the wooden bridge, and they got to the other side and looked back. Archer stood into the garden top into the castle walls, and Teddy waved at them. Then he looked at Jack and Annie. All the horses returned to the castle. He said, "Our mission is done." Laughing, they ran to the page of the trees, strolled in the small village. They hurried along to the dark path in the past cottage, and they saw the villagers in their doorways. They all had passed the starting of the direction without ringing castle bells, and Maggie, the old woman, grinned closely at the three of them. "The bells are ringing again," she said in a crickety voice. "Yes," said Teddy. "The boys and the girls are hound all back. There's nothing to be afraid of anymore, and the whole castle is alive and well." Jack, Annie, and Teddy left the village and headed for the woods. They walked through the fallen leaves, sunlight flattered through the tree branches, and Merlin words of thought back to Jack's mind. "You are about to enter a tunnel of fear. Protect onward with a courage, and you will come out to the light." Jack looked around. The forest is bright with the most beautiful golden light he had ever seen. Now it says chapter 13, Jack and Annie's magic. Oh, I think Jack and Annie have a magic now. They're not an ordinary magic. They're not an ordinary kids now. Jack, Annie, and Teddy crunched through the fallen leaves as they came to the Merlin song. And they found the hidden door near the rope ladder as Teddy pushed the bark. And the door opened. One by one, they slipped into the canlet, hollow the tree trunk. And Merlin was sitting into the tall wooden chair. "So you restored order to the castle?" he said calmly. "Yes, sir," said Annie. And has to use a bit of the magic, but nah, said, "Well, your reminding just have improved," Merlin said to Teddy, and Teddy grinned slipped slowly. "Well, to be truthful, and real magic is not by the reminds. It was of the magic of Jack and Annie's courage and kindness to save the day with and save me too." "Indeed?" said Morgan. "I," said Teddy. "They're having magic as the powerful Annie Starker reminds or enters the haze of the twin." Merlin raised a busy eyebrow. "Entrix it has a twin?" he said. "'Tis only have a future to switch," and Teddy said quickly. And Merlin turned to Jack and Annie. "I thank you for your help," he said. "All the room for the Camlet thanks you." "Welcome," they said, and Merlin stood up. "Come along, my boy," he said to Teddy. "I will help you speed you back to the Morgan now. My research is done. You must return this rare books in your library." And he reached down to pick it up to the stack of the ancient lookbooks from the floor. It piled them to Annie's arms. Teddy turned Wakely's books, and then Jack and Annie followed Merlin out to the heart of the oak. The sun had risen higher than the sky, and the woods were still. Teddy peered over to the tops of the books. I suppose I must say goodbye now, he said to Jack and Annie. And then we will see you again, said Annie. Oh, when Dirty calls, I suppose, said Teddy. He looked at Merlin. The magician smiled. Will you be able to find your way home, right? Teddy asked him. Oh, sure, said said Jack. The treehouse will take us back. He and Annie looked up to the magic treehouse at the top of the oak. A sudden of the gust, wind stirs the leaves, and Jack and Annie turned it back to the Merlin and Teddy. But they were gone. Bright yellow leaves swirled and danced in the spot where they had been standing. Wow, said Annie. Yeah, said Jack. Well, said Annie, sighing. Onward, homeward, said Jack, and Annie started to the rope ladder. Jack followed, and they climbed the side of the treehouse, and Merlin leaving invitation floating off the floor. Before it could blow out the window, like grappling, she pointed to the Frog Creek. I wish you could go there, she said. The wind started to blow. The treehouse started to spin. It spun faster and faster, and everything was still. Absolutely still. Jack opened his eyes. He and Annie were sat quietly on the floor with the treehouse for a moment. As Jack looked out the window, sighing overhead, a bird was scurrying through the dusty sky. Jack could hardly believe that just a little while ago Happy and Bird himself. Ready to go home? Said Annie. And Jack nodded. There's no way to explain just what happened to them. He thought there's no way to even talk about him. And Annie carefully placed it to a mullein autumn leaf into the corner of the treehouse next to their royal Christmas invitation. Then she and Jack climbed out to their ladder and started through the woods. In the gathering dark of the Halloween night, nothing seemed to be very spooky. Jack knew all the trees. He knew the familiar path for their street. As he and Annie handed those home, the 3 crochets stepped into the sidewalk in the front of them in the high red switch, a grueling skeleton and a huge hairy eyeball. And a creature stacked and waggled his fist. And Jack and Annie laughed. Oh, brother, said Jack. Good costume, said Annie. Jack and Annie crossed their yard and climbed in their front of the steps. Are you ready for trick or treat? Said Annie, and Jack pushed her glasses into place. You know, I think maybe I'll stay home this year, he said, and help Mom and Dad give their treats. Yes, maybe I will too, said Annie, but I think I will wear my vampire princess costume anyway. Jack smiled. Good, he said, and Nanny and Annie slipped beside the warm, cozy house and closed the door against the dark of All Hallows Eve. Now, the Anna reading the Magic Treehouse Merlin Mission's Haunted Castle on Hallows Eve story. And that means tomorrow we read a new book with a new stories, but it's a Merlin Mission, Magic Treehouse Merlin Mission to read, okay? It might be very fun, new stories to read, okay? Now, bye-bye, everybody, and have a nice day. And if you like my YouTube, please thumbs in my YouTube. Now, bye-bye, everybody. Now, have a nice day. Bye!